coffee with, and he...
Wow.
That's where we're going with this. Anyway,
I'm here.
you're here. It's coffee with, and he, and Tracy. You reach up and grab my coffee.
It's probably really cold right now.
I don't care, it's coffee. It doesn't matter. It's black, bitter.
Is it a tumbleweed in the middle of the river?
I'm not sure if that's tumbleweed. We just took some fantastic first light pictures and dawn pictures. It is Sunday morning. Good morning, guys. Day of reverence. It's beautiful. We let everything settle out. We hope, or a lot of stuff settled out in the waterways yesterday. We got a boat coming by us.
I already found the floating duck this one.
We already found part of a floating dock. It was just an old piece of styrofoam. But you can find those on Lake Lanier all the time with no breeze, no wind. Is that just a flat bottom? See them passing behind us. There you go. Oh.
Look, it's a tumbleweed in the middle of the river.
It is a tumbleweed in the middle of the river. We got some mullet skipping in front of us too. So we let things settle out a little bit on Sunday. We had some vitamin D therapy, and Tracy found a shark's tooth about 2.5, 3 inches long. I need to measure it. It was magnificent.
If it wasn't chipped on the bottom, it'd probably be behind that. I'm glad I met that on the beach and not face to face.
God gave her a perfect, oh wow, that sunrise is beautiful. I'm not taking, the phone setup I have right now takes forever to get wiggled down in there. So we're gonna motor up to Monsboro Inlet. Masonboro.
Are you dyslexic?
That too.
I think you're auditorially dyslexic. Like if you see it, maybe you know it then, but...
Going to Masonboro Inlet up in Wilmington. Masonboro. Masonboro, not Marcinboro.
No, I know Mason.
And we're going to try to duck out in the ocean, and we've got a beams wind today that should give us enough energy to make it up to Beaufort, which was our
original
goal
a week ago.
That's okay. God, we've learned a lot.
We could have learned so much less if we had just gone to Beaufort that first.
The kids are trying to sleep. We've got an angry Mark, and oops, sorry about that. Those will wake you up if you're trying to nod off on night watch in the middle of the night. That and the Securities don't do it, but there's a beep that beeps until you hit the transmit on your VHF. So it's
how low does it? I guess it's pretty low tide.
It's a low tide. Where are we at now? 10? 8?
Just feeling our way down the intercoastal.
We're not sounding with the keel right now. And if we do, I'll edit it out of the video anyway.
You can't post that on social media? Or you shouldn't.
For insurance purposes.
The sailor's mouth comes out. Sorry.
So, what was your favorite part of yesterday besides your shark's tooth?
The shark's tooth. Just chilling out, man. That was a stressful couple days.
It was.
It was nice. We took the dinghy to the dinghy dock, and she had some friends and made herself official. It was really cute.
She made herself official when we went and got groceries.
Yes.
And I pulled up to the seawall, and you guys just
walked through this poor man's yard. He kind of looked at us because we had a shopping cart. Like, where are you going?
Where are these homeless
people? Are you
people?
setting up a homeless camp in my backyard?
It wasn't technically his yard. It was a free lot. I even looked at the county deed records real quick to make sure.
He was very nice, and then he told us we could use his dog.
Yeah, except for Fido would have taken your leg off, I think, especially for the chicken.
Her name is Daisy.
Oh, wow, how fitting. We've got a couple of pelicans crossing our bow right now. their ground effect, the way they
Oh, they
They
just
just
ride on those
soar.
ferns amaze me.
down at the edge, just barely off the water, is just amazing. We keep getting cuts where we can get shallow again, where we can see straight out over the marsh into the open sea and just how gorgeous it is. Thank God it's not developed out there because it's beautiful. Carolina Beach was very kind to us. The harbor master Larry, I know I've mentioned him a couple of times, but came by yesterday morning and wanted to put eyes on us, made sure that we were okay.
And for anybody that's wondering, we found the dumpster.
I took pictures and posted. And somebody was like, "Oh, it's a little garbage bin." Nope,
No, that's a dumpster.
that's a full-size dumpster. Floated out in the little. That's not an inlet. What is that? That's a protected little cove.
A harbor, I guess? I would just call it a harbor.
We'll call it a harbor for now. Floated out, then floated back over and sank in the marsh right in front of somebody's
Technically,
house.
it's a man-made canal.
But it's a canal to nowhere.
Right, but that's still a canal.
There's several dinghy docks there that you can take over. There's one at the very end of the bay that's right at the city marina that was supposed to be done being rebuilt in September, but looks like they're just getting started, so I would say September of 2024. And there's other dinghy docks. We went to one and crossed over Canal Street, and it was another block and a half to the beach and the ocean. And the road signs, the stop signs, and everything else along the way have measurements, kind of like at a convenience store, so you can measure the height of an assailant as they run out after they've robbed you. that measures the high water marks in the road. And it happens so often that there's signs printed up that says Canal Street is closed due to seawater, salt water. Only emergency vehicles can pass. So between the fact that it happens so often that they have painted signs put up and set off to the side when things go clear, and they can just lift them back. Billy Bob can come out from the city works department.
How do you know Billy Bob works for the city?
Timmy, Bobby, Bartholomew, I don't know who. Fred, it could be Fred. Is that a little trimaran?
Yeah.
Can come out from the city works department, prop those up, and everybody just knows to avoid Canal Street because it's at 24 inches or 27 inches of water. There's no guessing on how deep it is.
They have more water than we do.
How much water do we have right now?
7.
7? That little trimaran's cute. That reminds me of the one in Fort Pierce.
But it flies. And I bet he can get out through there.
Yeah, I bet he can. I bet he can go out in about 6 inches of water and then drop his dagger boards down. So we had a great day yesterday. Nick got his cheeseburger. They were great
Cheeseburgers
cheeseburgers.
were delicious.
Sit back down so that people can see it. You can.
Just trying to not run around.
Okay. They were great burgers. Mine had jalapenos and slaw and chili and onions and cheese and bacon. We were going to go to and jalapenos. We were going to go to the Fat Pelican, but we found out they didn't have food. We needed to get back to the boat before it got too dark because we didn't have our navigation lights at the time. And we walked by a couple of guys on a fishing boat that were just mawing down on a couple of burgers. You're like, you have to go to the Quickie Mart Island Burger.
Looks very good. It's like a bongo burger, man.
I'll have 2 bongo burgers and some coconut chili fries. What's the line in Captain Ron? I know it's bongo burgers. And then they do the merengue.
Yeah.
Captain Ron
Which we
and
did
Kit.
not do.
We did not do the merengue, but that would have been awesome. We would have definitely embarrassed our boys.
Yes.
Who are still sleeping. I don't know how.
They're not going to be if we hit bottom.
I don't know. They slept through most of a hurricane. You slept through a good portion of it.
So shallow here. This is crazy.
Can you ease back a little bit? Could have shoaled in a little bit during the storm. So we've got a beautiful day. We've got 9 statute miles we need to make before we get to the inlet so we can go out to the sea buoy. Mason Borough. And then we've got a 78-mile trek over. We're going to try to get that knocked out today. We started before light. The sun came up after we were on for half an hour. So we got an early start, Papa. First one so far. We'll find our way into it, slide our way into it. For those of you that are wondering, our bridle, the pennant on the end of our bridle, held as our primary. The secondary was the water bowline.
I never even got to test my knots.
But the nice thing about the knots that she tied is they broke down easy. A water bowline like an extra loop, so it's a double cinching bowline. And then in addition to that, through the storm we had a secondary bridle going from each bow through the bow cleats. So if one had an issue, the second one would have taken over, and then worst case scenario, we would have had a third one that would have sawed out back a little bit. I know that's not the best thing to do, but we had tension off of it. It did not wear or chafe at all on the line. Is that the same dude?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Just out burning fuel?
Getting coffee.
He went down to Mrs. Grinds a lot. What's the name of that?
That was
Pump and Grind.
The grind and
Pump and Grind.
something grind and
Pump,
what was the name
as
of
in
it?
pump the
Maybe,
flavorings.
maybe.
Pump and Grind.
Yeah.
It was not an adult toy store or anything like that. Oh, another little cut where we can see through the marsh.
Maybe he'll bounce us over the shallow water thing.
Sweet. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a short coffee with and Tracy. Maybe we'll do some video later, guys. Just wanted to say good morning.
Oh, cool.
That is a beautiful boat. He's got sponsors all over the side of that.
Mac Attack. Mac Attack.
Mac Attack.
Well, it's MC Attack.
Hopefully it's not Mac Heart Attack or anything like that for the owner. We're just going to enjoy
I think one of my
morning.
favorites yesterday was we got in the dinghy and got down towards the end of the canal, and there was a McDonald's like straight ahead at the end of the canal, and one of the kids was like, I didn't know there'd be McDonald's here. We were like, dude, we're still in the country.
Oh, we did meet I did meet someone who they had a big old, would you call that a cabin cruiser that was on that dock that didn't.
Oh, the woman that wouldn't let you go to Publix?
Yeah, I mean, it's a community little dock, went right up to Publix, could have been real easy for Tracy.
Yeah, but I think what she meant was it's gated.
Whatever.
You can't get there from here.
Big old cabin cruiser. Their high field was flat when I went by. I mean, completely flat. All three chambers empty. She was climbed down, was standing in it, and looked
On the davits.
No, she was standing in her dinghy on the davits, the weight on the davits, and looked over and said, "Oh, our outboard is gone." Now the bracket, the transom was still there. The bracket for the outboard was there, but the outboard was not. She said it was a Mercury. It's like, how deep water again? I'll dive on it. She said, nope, we're not going to dive on it. We're just going to leave it. How rude is that? I mean, get the thing out of the water. You could 20 feet of water. You can send somebody down with a mask, tie off to it, pull it up, get it out. She's like, we're just going to buy a new one. Get
More
it.
dollars than cents.
Dollars and cents.
Or maybe it was already cracked and they knew it. Because that storm wasn't enough to crack the mount on that lake. No.
I saw a 72 mile an hour, or not wind, gust, because you had to be out. You have to be out in your cockpit and you have to look
Sitting
down.
here, yeah.
And there could have been some higher. I'm not saying they were higher. Mostly they were in the 40s and 50s. There was a while where it was 60s. It was not horrible.
Oh, look at all that exploration out there.
So yeah, she just bloop, dinghy motor's gone. I'll buy another one. Anyway, that's enough for now. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you soon. Bye.